My only experience of Newark would have been in 2019, included as part of what was probably the worst railway journey I've ever experienced. I was heading to Cleethorpes for a little bit of a family holiday, but I didn't head directly there, which would have been changing at Doncaster, coming up from London, because I needed to pick up my nan who lived at Spalding Station. The train out of London was delayed, which meant I missed my rail replacement bus from Peterborough, as East Midlands Railways was on strike. So I had to come up to Newark and change here by heading over to the other station, which included another bus. Once I made it to Lincoln, I then had to get another rail replacement bus, which was running late, so I would have missed my connection at Grimsby, so I bailed at Barnetby instead. But at least from there, I finally got the train to Cleethorpes. I finally made it. And overall, I mean, it wasn't too bad because I got all my money back through delay repay. But I've always been a little bit gutted that I never got the chance to explore Newark, especially considering that the other station is called Newick Castle. So that's exactly where I'm heading now. Well, there it is, Newick Castle, nestled on the banks of the River Trent. Me from 6 years ago can rest easy now, knowing that I've rectified not coming to see this in the past, even though I wasn't even planning on coming here that day. It intrigues me that despite the fact this place is called Newark-on-Trent, neither station is called as such, unlike Stoke-on-Trent, which has embraced that name. And speaking of which, here we are at Newick Castle Station, which predates the one on the main line by 6 years, opening in 1846. I actually remember it quite well. I don't know why I didn't go down and have a look at the castle, because I remember waiting here for quite a while. I would have had time, it's only 2 minutes down the road. Instead of using Newick Castle again though, I've come back to Newark Northgate, because you can also catch the train to Lincoln from here. And here is my train. By catching this train, I'm going to travel on a curve of track that will avoid a very rare flat crossing where the main line intersects the Nottingham, Newark and Lincoln line. And they've refurbished these trains. I didn't know they were doing that. This is a new seat upholstery. That train was incredibly busy, as a lot of people were making a connection from a train from London to go to Lincoln, but I was the only one who got off at Collingham. Yeah, there's not a lot here at all. I was going to say it's odd that that train makes its only intermediate stop here, but this is actually the second busiest station on the line between Nottingham and Lincoln, apart from Newick Castle, which beats it. It does have a dilapidated old station building here though, which is interesting. So we'll come back and do the other stations between Newark and Nottingham another time, but for today, I'm doing the stations towards Lincoln, Gainsborough and also squeezing in Market Rasen. And because of that train from Newark Northgate, I've only got a 20-minute connection here for a train that's come from Newick Castle. That stops at all stations, but you can see that the next one at Swinderby, if I was to get out, there would be no train for 3 hours. So I'm actually going to come back to that later when the timings work well. I adore days like this, when it's so incredibly foggy and misty that can't even see 100 metres in front of you, really. Gives Collingham a very moody, middle of nowhere feeling. I've just realised that there's no information screens here, so I have no idea if my train's on time or not. It should be coming any second now. I would have expected the level crossing barriers to come down, but it's not like I can see it because it's too foggy. Alright, there goes the barriers. It's about 3 minutes late. I've made it all the way to Lincoln. I want to tackle Saxelby station on the line to Gainsborough, but I have about a 40-minute connection here. That seems to be a common theme at Lincoln. No matter what train you're catching, you will always have a long wait here. That happened when I went to Cleethorpes before. My first experience of Lincoln though would have been many, many years ago when I came here with my nan, and I recall having some footage that I recorded on my old Nintendo DS of a pacer train passing the level crossing at the end of the station. Even back then, I think the signs did say Lincoln, although officially the name was Lincoln Central until 2019. The first time I came here, this footbridge over the railway wouldn't have been here, so I would have had no choice but to wait for the pacer train to pass through the level crossing. The reason for the central suffix was that there was a completely separate station in Lincoln known as Lincoln St Mark's, which closed in 1985. I've never come to have a look at this before. Oh, what a fantastic old sign. British Railways, Lincoln St Mark's. This has the look of an old signal box to me. Presumably then, this would have been an old bridge for the railway over the River Witham, which I'm going to take to walk back towards Lincoln Central Station to catch my train. Worst timing possible, the level crossing barriers just went down, but luckily there's a bridge here that I can take instead. It gives me a good view of another old signal box down there. The bridge also gets me a good view of where the Foss Dyke is making its confluence with the River Witham. The Foss Dyke was constructed by the Romans in 120 AD and therefore is believed to be the oldest canal in the country. You know me, I love a good canal, so I love that fact. Right, so there's your little teaser of Lincoln. I do have long changes here later, so we'll explore more of the city then. But I can spot my train down there, which will take me to Saxelby. I also see a disused platform. So I only have about 20 minutes here until the return train to Lincoln. The screens here are calling it Lincoln Central, by the way. And because I was on a northern service, I was interested if East Midlands services still stopped here. Because when I would visit my nan at Spalding Station, the train from Peterborough was always a Lincoln service. And at some point that had changed to always be a Gainsborough or a Doncaster service. And that tradition is still kept up today. On a Sunday though, they don't stop here, it's all northern services, so I know what I'm getting back to Lincoln. Seems East Midlands has all different names for their lines, I didn't know that. The one from Newark to Lincoln this morning was the Castle line. Well, it was worth taking a quick wander around in my 20 minutes here because I've come across a village sign for Saxelby. You know, fair play Northern for fitting out these clapped old bangers of a train with USB ports. You've modernised it somewhat. Still says Lincoln Central up there though. It feels weird to be in Lincoln again so soon. And for this 40-minute connection, I decided to walk up alongside the Sinsel Dyke, a little branch of the River Witham that leads to a stadium that's appropriately named for a railway adventure, the LNER Stadium. Home to Lincoln City Football Club, I don't have much else to do but just head back alongside the river towards the station. The proper Lincoln Explore is yet to come though. The train pulling into Lincoln was actually my train. That one wasn't refurbished though, I could tell from the seat maquette that it dates from the Greater Anglia days, but it's finally brought me to Swinderby. Now I have about 25 minutes here at Swinderby for the return train, which is going to be the one after I caught this morning from Collingham, which stopped here. So 3 hours later I'm finally here at Swinderby, and it almost feels like I've stepped back in time. I mean, first of all, there's a decent little waiting room here. It still has a payphone. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have a payphone. Oh no, that's a relic though. I just noticed there's East Midlands trains on there, not East Midlands Railway. But there's a little timeline of history for Swinderby. I didn't realise that it was potentially going to close as part of the Beaching Acts. It got saved Yeah, there's not a lot around this station at all, but other relics I spotted as soon as I was coming in on the train is there's a signal box here and there's still a manually operated level crossing. I feel like that's a bit of a rarity nowadays. Still got a beautiful foggy mist as well over the countryside here at Swinderby. It's a cute old little cottage for the station building. As I cross the railway, I can spot far off in the distance down there some semaphore signals too. I'm almost surprised to see a bus stop here, but it only gets 4 buses a day, and none today on a Sunday. There we go, there's evidence of the castle line that I mentioned earlier. It's a bit of an odd timetable. The stations usually get an hourly service. You can see Hykeham does there. But on this train, there's a considerable gap afterwards, but then rather bizarrely, only 8 minutes later there's a train. What's going on there? That's a funky timetable. Oh, the sun's coming out now. I can tell from the green seats of that train that was an old London Midland unit, and it's brought me to Hykeham, the last of the stations between Newark and Lincoln. Because I'm used to London, Newham in London. Well, this is a very dull station. The only thing it has going for it is that it has staggered platforms. That train was about 9 minutes late, but I am giving myself the full hour and a half or whatever it is until the next train to Lincoln, because there's some interesting places to take a walk around. Right, well, let's head off on my hike in Hykeham. Nearby to Hykeham station is Hartholme Country Park, which is full of lakes. This is ideal. This is a great way to spend time till I wait for the next train. I did consider today doing a walk between Hykeham and Lincoln, but because I was changing there so much and there was quite a considerable wait time for each of them connections, I figured it was just better to visit these places separately and do a bit of a looped walk coming back around to Hykeham after walking around the lakes. Station now. I will say I quite enjoy making these visiting every station videos because they're mostly in places which are very unfamiliar to me. They're different to my regular walks. Some of them I've had planned for years. I know what to expect almost going into them, whereas with these ones I pick a line I haven't really travelled on before, never really looked at the stations, see what's on the map, see what places I can do a walk to or what stations I can do a walk between, and then just go and do it and have fun exploring new parts of the country. Like today's adventure, I conceptualized yesterday. I planned out a journey itinerary. I just thought, yeah, it works, let's book the tickets, let's go and do it, and I'm glad that I did. Well, being beside the River Witham can only mean one thing. I'm back in Lincoln, so it's time to finally give a proper explore to the city centre now on a Sunday evening stroll. Exploring Lincoln, however, won't be without its challenges, as Steep Hill here is not kidding with its name. It is one of the steepest streets in the entire country, the 4th or 5th steepest, I think. Oh my lord. Yeah, this road is something else entirely. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. You're rewarded once you get to the top, though, with a shot of Lincoln Castle. Tactical purposes, of course, it's up on a hill. William the Conqueror ordered the construction of this castle just 2 years into his reign in 1068. You can usually go inside it, I guess it's closed now. on a Sunday evening. This is a good time to come and explore Lincoln though. Usually, well, from what I remember back in the day, it was the high street is very bustling all day. What's brilliant though is that if the castle is not impressing you, then just turn around and you've got a fantastic shot of Lincoln Cathedral. Wow, that genuinely might be one of the finest cathedrals in the country. The original one here was built in the same century as the castle. That's how historic Lincoln is, and I'm now starting to wonder whether this actually might be one of my favourite cities in the country. I feel to do it justice in one shot I have to switch to the good old 0.5 and resume. I don't think I've done that before in a video, it's just that huge. Ah, the lights are turning on now because it's starting to get dark. If I stuck around, I reckon it would be really beautiful at night time. But, oh, bells are going. But you know, got trains to catch and stuff. Well, I think the earlier teasers of explores around Lincoln was worth it for the finale shot here at the cathedral, right? I'm still not done, I've got 2 more stations left to go. What was a tricky station to squeeze in today was Market Rasen, as it sits all alone on its own little line. On a Sunday it only gets 3 services, but luckily at this time I only have about 15 minutes until a train heading back the other way. It took 15 minutes to get here from Lincoln. I have a 15-minute wait, and now I have a 15-minute journey back. I have to cross the tracks at grade to get to the other platform. It's a decent little station though. It's nice pieces of artwork scattered around. Even has the old East Midlands train signs, like how Saxelby did this morning. God, that gap is the worst. And I'm back at Lincoln for the final time today, where I'm sure I have a great connection time to my last train of the day to Gainsborough, right? Well, no, the Market Rasen train misses the Gainsborough one by only 5 minutes, so I have almost an hour to wait. No exploring this time though, I'm just gonna get some food. Seems like there's only 1 station sign per platform here. An older East Midlands trains one for the Lincoln bound side and a newer East Midlands Railway one for the Sheffield bound side. But I finally made it to Gainsborough. We were so close earlier, but then we reversed away at Saxelby. Strangely, this station for a small period of time in 1923 was known as Gainsborough North, which confuses me because I now have to walk north to the town to my hotel. So what was all that about? Is that why they changed the name quite quickly, because they realised how silly it was? Oddly, there is another Gainsborough station which is better suited for the town, but it has a very limited service, which we are going to discover tomorrow. So subscribe for part 2. Thank you for watching part 1. Shout out Newark Argos for having my first Christmas tree of the season. I put season in heavy quotation marks, by the way.